Good afternoon, everyone. I came here today to do a video on, how can I say, on image in advertising. Image in advertising. And in this video, I will base my video on the theory of Carl Jung. I don't know if you all know, but Carl Jung is a psychiatrist, a Swiss psychiatrist, who was a disciple of Freud and later on of Melanie Klein. Why did I choose Carl Jung? Because really Carl Jung is the guy who revolutionized the educational and the business world, and his influence continues in the educational world and the business world until today. In Carl Jung's theory, he speaks about something called individualized and collective archetypes. According to Carl Jung, most individuals are born unconscious and they acquire conscious throughout their upbringing and within their society. So when marketers build their products and promote it and market it in the market, they usually tend to build their adverts around this archetype. Another concept really key, which is key in Carl Jung's theory, is that of libido. Libido is a concept that Carl Jung borrowed from Freud. With Freud, libido has always been had always a sexual connotation. But with Carl Jung, he desexualized libido, and with him, libido became an emotion that most individuals have, and that generate behavior. So when the marketer builds his product to meet this consumer's libido, usually he produces within consumers an intense charge that is followed with the purchasing act. After this video, I will be sharing an advertisement to give you an idea of how this is done in advertisements. I will share the advertisement of Jeep Cherokee. With Jeep Cherokee, an SUV Jeep Cherokee, which is usually purchased by people who love sports and who love adventures. And you will see that the advertisement usually portrays people doing sports, people hiking, people escalating a mountain, and so forth. And usually in the advertisement, they show men and women who are a little bit on the edge. Their appearance is a little bit is not traditional, and the way they look is a bit on the age of people who are adventurous. So people who have such a personality, who like to identify with this image of the brand, which that of sporty and that of adventurous, are most likely to purchase a car such Jeep Cherokee. For people who live in metropolitan cities, for example, me, in my case, I live in Sao Paulo, and I lived in the United States, and I lived in a big city, and I frequently used to visit New York City. And when you're walking down in New York City, the streets of New York City are full of billboards and digital advertising and companies advertising directly to you and giving you free samples. And most products that they are advertising, they promise miracles, to do miracles to you, and to produce miracles. So it's very important to consumers to have this knowledge of how marketing is done and how the purchasing act of consumer is manipulated in a way to bring consumers to consume products. So I hope that this video will be of help to you, and help, or just for you to gain some insights about advertising, because I will be sharing after this video the advertisement I spoke about of Jeep Cherokee. So when you look at it, when you start looking at advertisements on TV or on billboards, you will start to have an idea about how advertisements are done within companies. Thank you, and see you later.